Have you ever noticed someone who never posts pictures online? No selfies, no celebrations, no updates. While everyone else curates their perfect life, these people stay invisible. But Carl Jung, one of psychology's greatest minds, said this behavior isn't random. It actually reveals something profound about their emotional maturity and inner confidence. Let's break down Jung's psychology behind people who don't post their photos on social media and what it says about their mental strength. Jung spent his career studying human behavior, and one of his biggest discoveries was this. Most people wear a mask, not literally but psychologically. We show the world what we think they want to see. The successful version, the happy version, the version that gets approval. Social media has turned that mask into a full-time job. We curate, edit, filter, and display ourselves constantly, hoping people will like what they see. But Jung noticed something interesting. Some people had learned to stop performing. They knew who they were without needing constant proof. And today, you can spot these people easily. They're the ones who don't post their pictures online. Here are 6 psychological traits that explain this behavior and why it's actually a sign of emotional intelligence. Jung made a distinction between your public self and your real self. Your public self is what you show people, at work, family gatherings, on social media. Your real self is who you actually are when nobody's watching. Most people get so caught up in managing their public image that they lose touch with who they really are. And social media makes this worse. Every post becomes a performance. You're not sharing your life, you're building a character. And that character needs constant updates, constant maintenance, constant proof that it exists. Jung worked with patients who realized they were spending more time thinking about how their life looked online than actually living it. They were performing their existence for strangers. People who don't post pictures have figured something out. They know the difference between their real life and the performance of their life. And once you see that difference clearly, the urge to constantly display yourself fades away. They're not against social media. They're just done pretending their curated highlights represent reality. They'd rather live their life than perform it. Jung talked about how people try to hide the parts of themselves that don't fit their ideal image. He noticed that everyone has qualities they don't want others to see. The messy parts, the flawed parts, the ordinary parts. Social media is built on hiding these. You post the highlight reel, your wins, your best angles, your accomplishments, the moments that make you look good. But what about everything else? The bad days, the failures, the ordinary moments when nothing Instagram-worthy happens, that gets buried. Jung said, when you hide parts of yourself, they don't disappear. They create anxiety and self-doubt in the background. People who don't post pictures have done something most people avoid. They've accepted their whole selves, the impressive parts and the ordinary parts, the photogenic moments and the messy ones. When you've accepted your full reality, not just the highlights, you don't feel pressure to constantly prove you're worthy of attention. You're comfortable being imperfect, and that comfort shows up in how little you need external validation. Jung noticed that people get their sense of worth from 2 places: external validation or internal values. External validation means your confidence comes from what others think: likes, comments, compliments, attention. Internal values means your confidence comes from living according to what matters to you. Social media runs on external validation. Post something, wait for reactions, feel good when people approve. Your self-worth becomes dependent on whether strangers double-tap your picture. But Jung observed that emotionally mature people shift from external to internal. They stop needing the world's permission to feel good about themselves. Patients described this shift. I realized a beautiful moment doesn't become more meaningful because I photographed it and got 50 likes. It was meaningful when I experienced it. That's enough. This is internal validation. These people aren't disconnected. They just don't need constant proof that their life matters. Their confidence comes from living aligned with their values. not from collecting evidence that other people approve. Jung called this emotional independence, and it's one of the clearest signs of psychological maturity. Jung studied how entire cultures adopt behaviors without questioning them. He noticed that every generation has patterns, things everyone does simply because everyone else is doing them. Today, one of the strongest patterns is this: if you don't document and display your life constantly, you don't really matter. This isn't conscious. It's just what everyone does. You post because everyone posts. You perform because everyone performs. You measure your worth by engagement metrics because that's what society has agreed is important. People who don't post pictures have become aware of this pattern and chosen to step outside it. Jung said you can't break free from what you're not aware of. These people have noticed the game, understood how it works psychologically, and decided, I don't need to play this to feel valuable. They've stepped back from the collective behavior and made a conscious choice about how they want to live. And that awareness is rare. Jung observed that most social interaction is shallow. People don't really see each other. They see what they expect to see, or what the other person wants them to see. Social media perfects this superficiality. You post a carefully edited version of yourself. People react to that image, not to you. Everyone's performing, nobody's really connecting. People who don't post pictures have often recognized this and rejected it. They prefer actual conversations, real presence. The messy, unpredictable experience of being known as you actually are, not as your filtered photos suggest. Patience told Jung, I realized all my friendships only existed in the space of what I was willing to perform online. Nobody actually knew me. When you stop performing online, something interesting happens. The people who stay in your life are responding to the real you, not your highlight reel, not your curated image, not your best angles. Jung believed this was essential for genuine connection, being seen as you are, not as you pretend to be. These people have traded shallow visibility for deep connection. Jung's entire life's work pointed toward one idea: become who you actually are, not who others expect you to be. Most people never get there. They spend their whole lives performing roles, meeting expectations, seeking validation. And they never discover who they actually are beneath all that. People who don't post pictures online have often started this journey. They're not performing for approval. They're living for themselves, not in a selfish way, in an authentic way. Jung wrote, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. These people have claimed that privilege. They know who they are without needing strangers to validate it. They exist fully whether or not anyone witnesses it online. And that, according to Jung, is real confidence, not the kind that needs constant reinforcement, the kind that just is. So next time you notice someone who never posts their pictures online, don't assume they're shy, insecure, or behind the times. According to Jung, they might be some of the most emotionally intelligent people you know. They know who they are without performing it. They're comfortable with imperfection. They get their confidence from within, not from likes. They've seen through the collective pressure to constantly display themselves. They prefer real connection over digital performance, and they've developed inner confidence that doesn't need validation. Jung would say these people aren't missing out. They've found something most people spend their lives searching for: the freedom to exist without needing to constantly prove they exist. They don't need to be seen to feel real, and that's genuine confidence. If you want to understand what everyday behaviors reveal about emotional intelligence, hit subscribe now. Because on this channel, we don't just scroll through people's lives, we decode the psychology behind how they really think.